Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. And do I have a game for you today? It is one that's actually rather amusing, and I was quite laughing about the silliness of this battle, so to speak, after it's all said and done. I sent it to Jingles a couple days ago, so we'll see if we get lucky or not in featuring it. We're going to have a slow start for sure, but I promise it's going to be worth it when the action starts, because when the action starts, it basically keeps going. Well, to talk about this ship, the Tier 10 USS Salem, which is the premium counterpart to the Tier 10 Tech Tree American heavy cruiser, the USS Des Moines. But Salem, if I understand correctly, was the first Tier 10 non-tech tree introduced into the game back in the early days of World of Warships. And it's one that I quite like playing. It's my favorite heavy cruiser in the game, and I've already done a video on that. I'm not going to do a repeat on that. But this battle is really just going to be about kind of enjoying the hilariousness of the certain aspects that happen in this battle. In kind of having some big brain gameplays. Kind of part of it was luck, and then just that's the way the battle went, so to speak, with each decision that we make. So starting off here, we're on randoms battle. We're a bounty ship, which I'd forgotten about, but we're not going to go over here to the left flank where I had originally pinged by the corner of that island, because I wanted to take, I hadn't realized yet, one of the changes, or one of the things that Salem's different than Des Moines, right? But I had forgotten, was that I took hydro instead of radar for operations and playing the high tier operations. And when I came into this battle, I hadn't realized it yet, but that I had the 5-kilometer hydro, not the 8.5 kilometer radar. So part of the reason was coming up over on that flank was to the left side of the island originally where I pinged, was to sit there and kind of guard that flank, but seeing the Shikishima's 510mm guns, no matter how I angle, no matter what I do, I will just eat Overmatch for breakfast all day. So then I become very much not interested in that, because Salem really, and Des Moines, play best around islands, right? So that's kind of where the joy these ships come in, where you can be out in the open, but you know, with a lot of the overmatch you have at high tiers nowadays, you know, whether we go beyond 4.6s to 420s to 457 to 460 to 510, you know, this, that, and the other. It's just, it's just kind of getting to a point where maybe some of the older high tier cruisers just don't maybe shine as best as they used to. It's not as easy, but you can still certainly make them shine if you play them right, which maybe you'll get an example of that in today's battle. So I was waiting to see here if this Svea, which does have torpedoes, was going to come out in front of me. He doesn't. I had switched to armor piercing. I see we have a Vampire 2 also coming around, so I switched to high explosive. Even though we're not really doing anything here, we're not firing our guns and that, right? We are being quite the distraction for the enemy team. And speaking of distraction, we have an enemy ship, an enemy destroyer that stepped onto our cap here in standard battle. So that's not good. So I'm like, what are we going to do here? But regardless, we're still serving as a distraction. We're kind of tying up some enemy ships. I mean, there's 3 ships basically kind of sitting here for us. We have the Minotaur, the Vampire 2, and the Svea. So, I don't even know how to pronounce the name of that ship. Anyhow, we're going to switch to armor piercing with our 203s because Minotaur decides to come out full on broadside to us. And what will 203s do to a light cruiser like Minotaur? Yeah. So he's clapped. And what do we have behind us? We actually have an L-Beam. And what does L-Beam do to light cruisers? It also eats them for breakfast. So, yeah. So Minotaur goes down. I am divisioned up with Doombeagle. He's in Azal, so he's gone up to deal with the threat to our cap. I'm deciding to move along. I'm thinking maybe the Svea is over here, or maybe there'll be the Vampire 2. Might switch to over here. So I'm going to go ahead and move over to this part of the map and sniff it out. But I'm also going to look at assisting Doom on the cap. I'm pretty sure he has it, but we're here if we need be. And he's made contact with the enemy Yu Yang, so I'm going to ping it and call it out in chat. So One of the things that we get to use for fun here is our ASW planes. So we can fish out where there's AA tracers, which is actually going to be a huge thing that we end up using in this battle. And this is what I'm going to phrase it. There's going to be a lot of children games that happen in this battle. And you're like, what do you mean, Flimsy? Children games? Well, you'll know it when you see it, and we'll talk about it when the time comes. So I even pull up part of my email that I sent to Jingles, where I kind of go into this. So anyhow, so we're gonna come up here. Doom has skillfully avoided all the deep water torpedoes, and he is clapping the Yu Yang and about to end his life as he turns out to get all of his guns off. In the meantime, we've lost our Yamato. Now, kind of a foreshadowing is if you look over on E2, you'll notice that there's a cold bearer and there's an enemy Petropavlovsk. And they're currently playing Ring Around the Rosie. And Nicole Bear is going to say that in chat too. And we are also going to participate in this game in playing Ring Around the Rosie. But you have yet to find out who exactly that might be. So we're still on the slow part at the beginning of this battle. I promise it will pick up here in probably just a minute or so. But I've always liked the Salem over the Des Moines in terms of just the Salem having the specialized repair party, just having a larger heal. So you can take a lot more abuse in Salem than you can in Des Moines. Salem is a little bit more of an aggressive, heavy cruiser version of Des Moines, right? Where Des Moines gets a little bit more of the consumables and utilities between having both the radar and the hydro. And where we have to choose between one or the other here. But we do get the defensive AA to equip here. So we get picked up on Hydro. It's the Vampire 2, decided to peek out here. And this is the first children's game we're going to be playing today. We're going to be playing Peekaboo with the Vampire 2. And you'll kind of see how that develops here. So I decide, let's go ahead and move up on the Vampire 2. Let's go ahead and see about killing him. Now, there's a few things. Ooh, it's Conqueror. That the Vampire 2 could do. He could pull out and dump torpedoes into me. Granted, he only has 5 torpedoes, and he can single launch them too, right? But he could make that play, and so far it seems like he's making the play to reverse back into the channel. Keep his eyes on me. I decide I want to go into the channel because I don't really want to deal with Shikishima possibly taking an interest in me with the 510mm guns and just kind of sitting here and it being a stalemate. The time has kind of passed now within the battle. It's time to make the play. There's an English expression I was looking for, but the longer I live here in Norway, the worse my English gets. So I'm going to play a big brain move here. I'm purposely going to ram the island. I want to bait out the Vampire 2's torpedoes. So we're going to ram the island. I shoot kind of like, oh, like I'm going to hit you. He's thinking I'm coming for him, but we easily avoid the torps. Now, part of the coding here in the game is that it also will push you off an island once you've hit to it. So the timing was actually really good there. Otherwise, you know, we barely avoided taking a bunch of torpedoes to the face there. So we played Peekaboo with the Vampire 2. We won the game of Peekaboo. And now we're going to go play Red Rover with this pan-European cruiser here. And being, are you going to be able to stop me, or am I just going to keep charging on through here in this engagement? Yep. Now we get improved penetration angles, which means we can do nasty things like that. And I decided to actually go ahead and heal here because I was quite confident he was probably dumping torpedoes on me there because he gets torpedoes. And as he angles out just enough, so we were basically going for the stern penetration 0, so high explosive. And Svea has lost Red Rover. Basically, if you've never heard of that game, it's like you have a line of people and then that all like kind of interlinked in arms. And the goal of that game is you charge through and you try to, you run at those people holding arm in arm. And you're basically trying to break through in between them, so to speak. If I have remembered the name of that name of the game correctly, so on, so to speak. So now we're playing Ring Around the Rosie with the Conqueror here, or Tag, or we could call it Chasey, Catchy, which is going to be happening for several minutes, actually. But we switched to armor piercing because the Hindenburg's pushing in. And so with the Hindenburg, we're going to play Guess Who? And shortly making our presence known here. So in having the fearless top grade gunner, that's what it's called on cruisers, skill, once we've entered within our standard detectability range of an enemy cruiser, which here is 10.9 on Salem, then we automatically get a boost to the reload time on our main battery. And that is, you can get it show up. A negative 10, no, not negative 8% on the main battery reload time. So we're causing some pretty good damage on the Hindenburg, and we're going to end up taking him out here. On the meantime, we're going to keep tracking the Conqueror as he's chasing us as we've picked up our third kill. Pinging the map, let my team know. Also noted a submarine ping out near where the Hindenburg was. But now we come to the Shikishima, and what are we going to do with Shikishima? Well, we're going to play pin the tail on the donkey with the Shikishima, which basically, if I remember right, that game is you have like a donkey cut out on the wall, and you have a tail, and I think it's you're blindfolded, and you're trying to get the tail, pin the tail on the donkey as close as possible to where it would be. And it may have been so long since I played that game, perhaps I even got the name of that one wrong. But we're going to go ahead and push up along the island here because I want to have some cover here from the Conqueror. We still have our Hydro. We've reactivated it, so we know if he'll break around the corner of the island sooner than what I might necessarily be ready for. But we've got him in position, so we're good. We set a fire on the Shikishima. We're still slinging our 2 and 3mm guns here. We activate top grade gunner because Conqueror has now showed up. And Shikishima's healing, but we're going to pick up the kill and getting Hunter Bounty and the, was it Dangerous Bounty? But as soon as that happens, we end up playing Hide and Go Seek with the submarine. So I go ahead and DCP before I end up fully accelerating. Even if he pings me again now, the torpedoes are close enough, they're really not going to have enough time to lock onto me because of how fast they're traveling. Which brings us back to Conqueror in playing Ring Around the Rosie or Chasey Chasey Catchy Catchy. And so now I have been the mouse, he's been the cat, I'm going to become the mouse, the cat, and he's going to become the mouse. So I thought he actually would come down the channel, but I think he was kind of annoyed because he didn't want to make a whole other lap again. As Doom picks off through Wisconsin in the Zal. I thought he was going to come back to me again, but he's like, okay, I think he's actually getting kind of tired of it, and he just wants to do other things in his life. So we're going to step out into the Conqueror. Now, his guns aren't facing this way. He doesn't know we're coming. We turn off or turn on our secondary AA, and what I'm going to do here is try fish for his Citadel beneath the rear main battery turrets, but he's still too angled, so I need to drop it further back into the stern. I'm still fishing for it. But we do get some good penetration there, and he's turning his turrets. Now he's beached along the island, and Chasey Chasey Catchy Catchy with the Conqueror turns into Whack-A-Mole with the Conqueror, where we whack his the Citadel and slowly killing him as he's healing. And so we pick up the high caliber, Kraken Unleashed, and Coordinated Attack, in addition to already having General Offensive and Brothers in Arms. So we're having quite the game here. And poor Conqueror didn't even get a chance to shoot at us once. And now we're resuming Hide and Go Seek with the enemy submarine, who's up around our cap. Our friendly submarine is just stepped on their cap as we get detected here. And so, okay, where's the submarine might be? Well, he's about to step on the cap here, and so that's going to give me a good idea where he might roughly be. So we're actually going to do some blind firing action here. So there's no point in being shy. You're detected. You know, he's the last ship alive. We're going to spray some fire around here. So I'm like, maybe he's actually up there. I had to decide, I don't know if I want to shoot anymore. I could keep shooting. There he is. He is where I thought he would be at. And we're going to change our course direction. So a lot of times what submarine players might do is they launch all their torpedoes and then they ping you. But we're okay because we were maneuvering. We didn't want to sail a straight line there. That would have been really dumb of us. But he goes dark. He dives down beneath, and Our L being friend from earlier in the game that helped or killed the Minotaur for us after we blapped him has shown up with his depth charges. So now it becomes a matter of hunting down the enemy submarine. So I'm guessing he's running away. I don't really know. Maybe he would go around on top of the island here in the cap and try to resurface. I don't know. It's hard to think what goes through a submarine player's mind in this game. So yeah, so anyhow, that's basically, this is going to be bringing the game to about a close here. I'll probably just skip forward here in detecting the sub. And so Hydra has picked him up, and now we are looking to finish him off and hoping maybe we get a 6th kill here, but it doesn't happen as our team ends up finishing him off. So let's go ahead and take us into the post-battle results. So we're going to land with 177,000 damage with the 5 kills, the 19 citadels with general offensive. I don't know if that's Brothers in Arms or I think it's Brothers in Arms. 2 of the bounty hunters, Kraken Unleashed, coordinated attack, elusive or a dangerous bounty, and then I think it was high caliber after that, and almost 3,200 base XP, and topping off the team. So even though we didn't have a lot of action there that first part of the game, we certainly did in the last half of the game, as a lot of back-to-back engagements there, one after the other. Another thing that was kind of amusing was we got about 55,000 spotting damage. I think that was mainly due to our hydroacoustic search picking up some ships, but you can see we did 71,000 damage on that Conqueror in like 30 seconds or less. So yeah, it wasn't... didn't take very much long in melting him down, and we're still going to end with over 1 million credits. I think we were running a green booster. I don't think we had a blue booster this battle. Otherwise, that would have been fantastic to have been running, or maybe even a red booster. So, kind of an amusing game. So we'll end up seeing if Jingles is interested in featuring it or highlighting it. But it was like if I was doing Twitch and that happened live, like you just would have heard me laughing so much in that battle. So it's nice having those type of games where it's like, not only is it just a really good game, but it's actually a game like you really enjoy, because that high tier just seems rare and few and in between these days. So if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you haven't subscribed, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. And until next time, take care.